Imagine finding a handful of old Washington quarters sitting unnoticed in a drawer, an inherited collection, or even mixed in with ordinary coins. At first glance, they may look like nothing more than 25-cent pieces. But some Washington quarters can become surprisingly interesting when the right combination of condition, mint mark, variety, error, and scarcity comes together. And today, we are looking at a collection of 21 Washington quarters that deserve a much closer inspection. Do not judge these coins simply by their worn appearance. In fact, an old, rough-looking coin can still attract collectors if it has the right characteristics. Throughout this video, I'll reveal a potential value figure every 20 seconds, so stay with me until the end because the most exciting possibilities are still ahead. And remember, these figures are examples of potential collector-level values, not guaranteed prices for every coin. Let's begin with the first Washington quarter. This is exactly the kind of coin that many people might ignore because of its age and circulated appearance. Look closely at the portrait, lettering, rim, and especially the small details around the design. Collectors examine these areas for unusual characteristics, strong strikes, die varieties, and signs that separate an ordinary example from a more desirable one. Even when a coin looks worn, its history can make it interesting. And if an unusual variety or exceptional condition is discovered, the value can change dramatically. Potential value checkpoint: $300. Now move to the second quarter. With older Washington quarters, condition is extremely important. A coin that has spent decades in circulation may show scratches, discoloration, and flattened details, while a better preserved example can attract much stronger collector interest. But condition is only one part of the story. The mint mark, strike quality, and possible die characteristics can also matter. That is why collectors never rely on appearance alone. They inspect the coin under magnification and compare it with recognized varieties. Potential value checkpoint: $500. The third coin reminds us why searching through old quarter collections can be so fascinating. Two coins can look almost identical at first glance, yet one may have a characteristic that makes it considerably more desirable. Look carefully around the lettering, numbers, stars, and Washington's portrait. Die doubling, unusual impressions, and other mint-related characteristics can create collector interest. If your coin has a genuine recognized variety and strong preservation, it may deserve professional examination rather than being spent at face value. Potential value checkpoint: $750. Here comes another Washington quarter with an old, circulated appearance. Do not automatically assume that wear means worthless. Older coins can carry historical and collector interest even when they are far from perfect. The key question is whether there is something unusual about the individual example. Check the date, mint mark, edge, lettering, and reverse details. Also compare the coin with trusted references before believing an online valuation. A genuine variety can be much more important than simple age. Potential value checkpoint: $1,000. The fifth quarter is another reminder that small details can make a big difference. Look at the surfaces carefully. Are there unusual lines? Does the lettering appear doubled? Is the strike noticeably different? Is the rim complete? Are there signs of damage that could be mistaken for a mint error? These are the questions serious collectors ask. A genuine mint error or recognized die variety can attract attention, while ordinary post-mint damage usually does not create the same premium. Potential value checkpoint: $1,500. Now we reach another interesting piece from the collection. Washington quarters from the earlier part of the series are especially important to study because collectors have had decades to identify scarce dates, mint marks, and varieties. Some examples were saved while others circulated heavily. That means surviving pieces can exist in dramatically different conditions. If you discover an unusually well-preserved example or a recognized variety, professional grading can become worthwhile. Potential value checkpoint: $2,000. Take a close look at this seventh quarter. The first thing I would tell any collector is simple: do not clean it. Harsh cleaning can permanently damage the original surface,
and may reduce collector appeal. Instead, preserve the coin exactly as you found it and inspect it under good lighting. Examine Washington's portrait, the inscriptions, the stars, the rim, and the reverse eagle.
Sometimes the most exciting clue is a tiny detail that is almost impossible to see with the naked eye. Potential value checkpoint: $2,500. This eighth quarter adds another layer of mystery. When examining older Washington quarters, collectors often look for differences caused during the minting process. Some varieties involve doubled elements, repunched features, over-mint marks, or unusual die characteristics. Recognized examples can be much more interesting than ordinary coins. NGC lists multiple Washington quarter varieties, including doubled die and over-mint mark varieties, showing why detailed examination matters. Potential value checkpoint: $3,000. Now we are halfway through the collection, and this ninth quarter deserves attention. Imagine finding a coin like this in an old family collection and simply assuming it is worth 25 cents. That is exactly why coin collectors inspect before spending. The surface, strike, mint mark, and variety can all influence desirability. If the coin has an authentic feature that matches a recognized variety, its collector value can move far beyond its face value. Potential value checkpoint: $4,000. The 10th Washington quarter is where the hunt becomes even more exciting. Look closely at the small details rather than simply asking whether the coin looks old. Age alone does not guarantee rarity. What matters is the combination of scarcity, condition, variety, demand, and authenticity. A worn coin with a scarce characteristic may be more interesting than a common coin with beautiful surfaces. That is one of the biggest lessons every new collector should remember. Potential value checkpoint: $5,000. Here is the 11th quarter. If you have an old Washington quarter at home, use a magnifying glass and examine it carefully. Pay attention to the lettering, date area, mint mark location, and the overall alignment of the design. Do not assume every unusual-looking mark is an error. Many scratches and dents happen after the coin leaves the mint. The goal is to separate genuine mint-made characteristics from damage that occurred during circulation. Potential value checkpoint: $2,500. We have now reached coin number 12. One of the fascinating things about Washington quarters is how many different varieties specialists have documented. NGC's Washington Quarter Variety Plus listings include numerous recognized varieties, and the series contains examples involving doubled dies and other unusual characteristics. So when you discover an unusual-looking quarter, do not stop at a quick internet search. Compare it with a reputable reference and, for a potentially valuable piece, consider professional authentication. Potential value checkpoint: $6,000. The 13th quarter is another coin where condition can change the story. A heavily circulated example may have relatively modest collector value, while a sharply struck, well-preserved specimen can attract a completely different level of attention. Look at the high points of Washington's portrait and the reverse design. Are the details still strong? Are the surfaces original? Is there unusual toning? These clues can help determine whether the coin deserves a closer evaluation. Potential value checkpoint: $3,500. Now let's examine number 14. This is where patience becomes a collector's greatest advantage. Never rush to sell an unusual quarter simply because someone online claims a huge price. First, identify exactly what you have. Then check the condition, mint mark, variety, and comparable certified examples. NGC itself explains that price guides are only one measure of value and that actual transactions and expert evaluation matter, especially for rare coins. Potential value checkpoint: $7,500. Quarter number 15 brings us even deeper into the hunt. Imagine seeing this coin sitting in a jar for years. Its rough appearance might make it seem ordinary, but collectors know that appearance alone cannot answer the question. The real mystery is hidden in the details. A scarce variety, unusual mint characteristic, or exceptional preservation could potentially transform an ordinary-looking quarter into a serious collector piece. Potential value checkpoint: $8,000. Now we come to the 16th quarter. One of the best habits you can develop is to compare your coin against reliable references instead of relying on viral social media claims. Some online listings show extremely high asking prices that do not mean the coin actually sold for that amount. Certified auction records and established price guides provide a much better starting point. The coin must also match the exact variety and grade being discussed. Potential value checkpoint: $10,000. The 17th Washington quarter is another reminder that rarity is about more than age. Millions of old coins exist, but only a smaller number may possess the exact combination collectors are seeking. That could involve a scarce issue, a recognized die variety, an unusual mint error, or outstanding preservation. So if your quarter looks different from the normal examples you see, stop before spending it and investigate. Potential value checkpoint: $12,000. Now we are down to just 4 quarters remaining. The 18th coin could be especially interesting if its characteristics match a recognized variety. This is where magnification becomes your best friend. Examine the lettering, portrait, stars, rim and reverse details from multiple angles.
Good lighting can reveal features that disappear under ordinary room light. And remember, never alter the coin while investigating it. Preserve the original surface. Potential value checkpoint: $4,500. Here comes coin number 19. At this stage, the biggest mistake would be assuming that every dramatic-looking coin is automatically rare. Collecting requires evidence.
A genuine error must have a mint-related explanation, while damage caused after circulation can look surprisingly similar. That is why serious collectors compare photographs, consult specialists, and use professional grading services when the potential value justifies the expense. Potential value checkpoint: $15,000. Only 2 quarters remain. The 20th coin represents exactly why the Washington Quarter series continues to attract collectors. There are common examples, scarce examples, recognized varieties, and extraordinary condition rarities. NGC notes that many Washington Quarter dates are relatively affordable even in mint state, while better varieties can have a much stronger market. So the important question is not simply, is it old? The better question is, what exactly makes this individual coin different? Potential value checkpoint: $20,000. And now we arrive at the final Washington Quarter in this collection. This is the moment to remember the most important lesson of the entire video. Never judge a coin only by its face value or worn appearance.
The true story can be hidden in a tiny mint mark, an unusual die characteristic, an error, a scarce variety, or exceptional preservation. Before selling, spending, cleaning, or altering an unusual quarter, identify it properly and compare it with reliable references. Potential value checkpoint: $25,000. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, subscribe to Minted Million Coins,
because there may be another overlooked coin hiding in your collection right now.